Hey, Skull Nation. What's up, my fellow Vikings faithful? Can you feel that purple electricity in the air? It's October 19th, 2025, and we're 5 games into the season, sitting pretty with our heads exploding from how good things are looking under Coach Kevin O'Connell. But hold up, before we dive into this purple paradise, let me hit you with a teaser that'll make your heart race. What if I told you our defense has turned into a 2-minute terror squad that's shutting down comebacks like it's nothing? Yeah, 0 points allowed in those nail-biting final moments. Stick with me, because today's Vikings news breakdown is going to unpack this defensive domination, the pass rush revolution, and why we're primed for a run that'll have us howling at the moon. Who's ready to skull through it? Drop a skull in the comments if you're as hyped as I am. Imagine this. Back in the early O'Connell days, we were grinding through a rebuild that had analysts scratching their heads, calling it impossible to win while fixing the roster. But here we are, 5 games deep in year 4, boasting a jaw-dropping 37-19 record under KOC's steady hand. That's right, 37 wins, folks, tying us for some of the best stretches in franchise history. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and O'Connell flipped the script, blending smart drafts with gritty wins, proving you can rebuild and ball out simultaneously. It's like watching a Viking longship finally catch the wind after years of rowing against the tide. Pure momentum that's got us second in EPA per play at -0.12 and leading the pack in EPA per dropback at -0.23. Tell me, Vikings fans, doesn't that stat sheet make you want to storm US Bank Stadium right now? We've had our bumps, no denying it. The run game's been a stutter step. Our O-lines had more leaks than a Minnesota winter roof. And yeah, the defense leaked points like a sieve at the end of halves. But oh man, the growth? It's electric. Remember those heartbreaking 2-minute collapses? They're ancient history now. This unit's evolved into a beast, especially with Brian Flores dialing up schemes that don't just prevent, they punish. As we roll through these updates from Vikings news, I'm talking interior pass rush explosions, 0 late-game points surrendered, and a projection that's got us eyeing 44 sacks over 17 games. Hang tight, because scene by scene we're going to dissect how this purple wall is rising. What part of this turnaround has you most fired up? Hit the comments. Let's chat. Flashback with me to those first 3 seasons under O'Connell, man. The 2-minute drill was our kryptonite. A glaring hole that let opponents waltz downfield like they owned the joint. We'd leak touchdowns faster than you can say, Hail Mary. And it stung. Especially with Flores' aggressive style shying away from soft prevent coverages in favor of bold, simplified pressures. Coverage shells were basic, rushes straightforward, but without that interior bite, teams carved us up. Analysts hammered us for it, and as a diehard, I'd pace my living room yelling at the screen, "Hold the line, purple people eaters." It wasn't just frustrating. It was a roster flaw screaming for fixes, turning potential W's into gut-wrenching L's. But rewind to this offseason. Boom! Kwesi goes big game hunting, snagging vets Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave to clog the middle and unleash chaos. Suddenly, Flores isn't manufacturing pressure with endless blitzes and stunts. He's got natural disruption from the gut. Fast forward to now. 5 games in, and we're Ian's better, flat-out denying scores in those final 2 ticks. Underlying metrics? They're singing our praises. No single point surrendered in late-game situations. A defensive EPA that's elite. It's like upgrading from a rowboat to a battleship overnight. Skull Nation, remember that 2024 sack total of 49 with 320 pressures? We're on pace for 44 sacks and 329 pressures this year, and it's all because that interior's finally ferocious. Who's your early MVP on this D-line? Allen's power or Hargrave's quicks? Sound off below. This shift isn't smoke and mirrors. It's sustainable fire. Last year, we looped edges and disguised blitzes just to generate heat, but now, Flores can call vanilla looks and still feast, thanks to those big bodies collapsing pockets. It's freed up our secondary to play tighter, our edges like Greenid and Van Ginkel to pin their ears back. And the results? Opponents are converting 3rd downs at a clip that's got us climbing rankings, forcing turnovers left and right. As we build suspense here in this Vikings news deep dive, think about it. If we keep this up through the bye, what's our ceiling, a top 5D or straight up historic? I'm leaning historic, but you tell me, what's the key to locking this in for the long haul? All right, Purple Warriors, let's zero in on that 2-minute magic. Because if there's one spot where this defense has leveled up from good to God tier, it's those heart-stopping closing drives. Picture the clock ticking under 2 minutes, opponents no-huddle humming, and our guys? They're a brick wall with fangs, swarming like the original Purple People Eaters reborn. In past years we'd wilt, simple coverages exposed, pressures too predictable, leading to dinks and dunks that bled into field goals or worse. But 5 games into 2025, we've stonewalled every late threat, 0 points across the board. That's not luck. That's Flora's scheme clicking with a revamped front, turning desperation into domination. Stats back it. We're tops in preventing explosive plays in crunch time, with a passer rating against dipping below 80. Feels like vindication after all those near misses. Doesn't it? What flipped the switch? Depth and disruption, baby. Gone are the days of over-relying on edge loops. Now, with interior heat from Allen Hargrave, even flashes from Jalen Redmond and Levi Drake Rodriguez, QBs can't step up clean. Flores keeps it aggressive, no prevent mush, mixing man coverage with simulated pressures that force hurried throws into our ballhawks. Harrison Smith and the secondary are feasting on tips and picks because the pocket's imploding. From Vikings news feeds, we're seeing it. In the tape, opponents averaging under 1.2 yards per rush in 2-minute sets, third down stops at 60% plus. It's the kind of growth that turns fans into believers. Hey, Skull fam, flashback to that Lions heartbreaker last year. Would this D have sealed it? I say yes. What's your favorite 2-minute stand so far this season? And here's the thrill. This isn't a fluke in a small sample. Projections have us sustaining this through the grind, potentially flipping games we used to cough up. Imagine the playoffs, clock winding down, and we're the villain's opponent's fear. It's building that championship aura one stop at a time. As we tease the next layer of this defensive renaissance, remember, every rep, every scheme tweak is ammo for October runs. Who's got the hot take? Is Flores the next defensive genius we crown? Drop it in the comments. I read 'em all. Now, let's crank the hype dial to 11 because the pass rush? Oh man, it's the engine roaring under this whole defensive beast, and it's shifting gears from edge dominant to interior apocalypse. Last season, we tallied 49 sacks and 320 pressures. Solid but blitz heavy, forcing Flores into creative contortions just to touch the QB. Edges like Green had owned it, but the middle? A ghost town, leaving us vulnerable when teams slid protections inside out. Enter 2025, 13 sacks already, projecting 44 full season, 97 pressures, 329 paced. That's elite territory, folks, with the biggest leap coming from the gut where it hurts most. We're not just getting there, we're living in the backfield, second in EPA/play at -0.12, first in dropback efficiency. This is the rush that's got offenses scheming nightmares. Break it down. Jonathan Allen's bulldozing with power moves that crumple guards, racking up hurries like it's his personal vendetta. 6 pressures on 1 QB alone in week 2, per the tape. Javon Hargraves, the quick-twitch ninja, slicing gaps for sacks that echo his 45.5 career total, tying for league leads in interior QB hits early on. Then you've got Redmond's raw burst and Rodriguez's sneaky twists adding layers. 4 new threats rotating fresh legs. No fatigue drop-offs. Flores loves it. He can dial base rushes without stunts, letting blitzes be the cherry, not the sundae. From Vikings news updates, our get-off times shaved to 0.81 seconds. Blitz rate up to 42% in fourth quarters, pure havoc. Skull Nation, doesn't this feel like the missing piece we've craved since 22? Who's your pick for Sack King by week 17? This interior focus isn't flashy, it's filthy effective, collapsing pockets 4 down deep and turning routine throws into disasters. Teams are chipping edges to protect the middle, opening lanes for our secondary to poach. It's elevated the whole unit, with turnovers spiking and red zone stops at franchise highs. As we suspense build to how this sustains, picture the back half of the schedule. Tough sledding against mobile QBs, but with this rush, we're feasting. Tell me, fans, what matchup are you circling for the next interior explosion? Lions? Packers? Let's debate in the comments. Diving deeper into the trenches, because if the pass rush is the heart, The interior duo of Allen and Hargrave is the pulse pounding with ferocious intent. Jonathan Allen, that Washington wrecker turned Viking, brings 42 career sacks worth of torque. Bull rushes that pancake centers, hand fights that win every rep. Early 2025, he's a monster, leading interiors with pressures that force checkdowns into our LB slaps. Pair him with Hargrave, the Philly phenom with 45.5 sacks and a knack for gap shooting like a heat-seeking missile. Tied for fourth in Hurry's last full season at 48. Together, they're a tag team terror, accounting for 12 of 26 pressures in one primetime tilt alone, sacking QBs twice in a blink. This isn't addition. It's alchemy, turning our D-line from solid to savage. Flores is in heaven, no more over-blitzing to compensate. He mixes four-man rushes that look pedestrian but end in chaos. Redmond's adding rotational pop, a 300-pound missile off the edge inside, while Rodriguez's stunts create double teams that free up edges. Stats scream success. Our interior pressure rates up 15% from 24 per PFF, with EPA against dropbacks plummeting to minus 0.23 league best. It's fixed that old Achilles. Teams can't sit back now, forcing quicker throws into Byron Murphy's picks. Vikings news is buzzing. This group's the reason we're top 10 in sacks pace despite a run game focus elsewhere. Hey, Purple Posse, if Allen and Hargrave keep this clip, are we talking D-line Hall of Fame bound? What's your bold prediction for their combined sacks? The beauty? Versatility. They're not one trick. Allen anchors runs when needed. Hargrave flashes sideline to sideline speed. It's allowing Flores to scheme freely, blitzing Cashman or Pace without selling out. Against the run, early critiques say tighten up, but pass pro disruptions are cascading into stuffed gaps. As we edge toward sustainability talks, this core's the bedrock, vets mentoring youth like Turner, building a dynasty front. Fans, who's the unsung hero in this rush rotation? Redmond? Rodriguez? Spill it below, your takes fuel the fire. Let's talk sustainability because nothing kills hype faster than a hot start flaming out. But with this Viking squad, I'm all in on the long burn. 5 games is a snapshot, sure, can get wonky with variance, but the bones are there. A 37-19 O'Connell ledger that's weathered QB carousels, rebuild pains, and now this defensive surge. 2-minute shutdowns? Not fluky, rooted in scheme evolution and talent infusion, holding foes to sub 1.0 EPA in late halves. Pass rush projections? 44 sacks, 329 pressures. Grounded in metrics, not wishes, with interior win rates spiking 20%. We've fixed the gut, diversified pressures, and metrics like our 82.4 passer rating against second in NFL scream staying power. It's the kind of foundation that turns what if into watch out. Challenges lurk, no doubt. O-line woes could force more nickel packages. Run inconsistencies might tilt games early, and injuries to Allen or Hargrave. Nightmare fuel. But depth's our shield. Rotations keep legs fresh. Flores disguises adapt on the fly. From Vikings news wires, we're converting 63% of clutch stops, forcing 11 more turnovers pace than 24. It's a unit reborn, not remade overnight. Evolution from grit to glory. Skull Nation with a schedule that toughens up post-bye. How do we keep the pedal down? More blitz variety? Youth snaps? Your strategies in the comments. Let's blueprint this run. Ultimately, this starts a promise. Sustained success isn't hope. It's happening, brick by defensive brick. If we hold the line through November slogs, playoffs aren't a dream, they're destiny. O'Connell's vision, Flores' fire, it's all aligning for something special. As we wrap this segment's suspense, hold that thought. The Vikings aren't just better, we're unbreakable. What's the one tweak you'd make to cement this forever? Hit me. Your voice matters. Pulling back the curtain on Flores' genius. Because that man's play calling is the secret sauce sizzling this defense into legend status. No more prevent mode panic. He's all in on aggressive, simplified structures. Man press shells that dare throws, four-man rushes that disguise blitz till the snap. This chess, not checkers. Coverage is tight but bendy, pressures from angles foes can't scout. Result? 2-minute foes averaging 0.8 yards per play, 0 scores, Ian's from the O'Connell era leaks that cost us double-digit games. His blitz rates judicious at 42% in crunch, but when it drops, hammers. Pair that with interior toys and its symphony. QBs flushed, hurried, picked like low fruit. Vikings News calls it, Flores fixed our fatal flaw, turning weakness to weapon. What elevates it? Adaptability against mobile threats. He floods lanes. Pocket passers get collapsed. We've seen it. Week 3 versus Bengals, Allen and Hargrave teed up a strip sack in 1:45 left, sealing a W. Metrics love it. First in EPA/dropback, minus 0.53 on fourth quarter downs. No more simplistic shells getting torched. It's layered with safeties like Smith reading eyes pre-snap. As a fan who screamed through too many collapses, this feels like therapy. Healing old scars with shutdown art. Purple faithful. Flores for DROI? Nah, but DC of the year easy. What's your fave Flores call so far? Replay it in the comments. And the ripple? Offense breathes easier knowing halftimes won't bleed out. It's holistic. Pass rush feed stops. Stops build leads. Leads unleash JJ and crew. As suspense simmers to sustainability, Flores blueprints the glue. Evolving without ego, fitting talent to tactics. If this holds, he's etching his name in purple stone. Tell me, Skull Squad, who's the next Flores hire we poach for OC? Let's dream big below. Zooming out on this rebuilt beast, because the Vikings' overall defense isn't just patched. It's transformed. A far cry from those early O'Connell squads scrambling to contain. We're talking a unit second in EPA/play, first in dropback disruption, with turnover margins flipping positive for the first time in years. The 2-minute fix? Tip of the iceberg. Now we're top 10 against the run too, thanks to interior anchors holding points while edges feast. Sacks up, pressures surging, 13 bags in 5. But it's the quality. 40% in fourth quarters, per analytics. No more end-of-half gifts. We're the gift that keeps on taking, forcing punts and picks when it counts. This is de-evolution, baby, grit forged into gold. Key? Balance. Allen/Hargrave interior havoc lets Flores play vanilla without vanilla results, freeing blitzes for spice. Secondaries thriving. Murphy's PBUs, Smith's INTs, all fed by rushed throws. From Vikings News deep dives, our red zone denials at 55%. A leap from 24's meh. It's not perfect, injuries loom, depth tested, but rotations like Redmond/Rodriguez keep it humming. Fans, remember the 22 miracle comebacks? This D's engineering our own now. What's the stat that blows your mind most? Share it. Let's geek out. This transformation's our rallying cry. From rebuild rubble to contender core, one stop at a time. It's got that purple people eaters echo, modernized for 2025 chaos. As we build to the big question, feel that surge? It's ours. Skull Nation, rate this D on a 1 to 10 scale in comments, overhyped or underappreciated. The million-dollar question hangs heavy. Can we sustain this defensive blaze through the marathon? Small sample jitters aside, 5 games can trick the eye. This feels baked in with foundational fixes that echo beyond October. O'Connell's 37-19 mastery proves resilience. Now, with pass rush projecting 329 pressures and 2-minute EPA elite, variance bows to volume. Challenges? Run defense tweaks, O-line synergies, but vets like Allen, 6 early pressures, and Hargrave, 2 sacks. Anchor it, rotations fend fatigue. Flores schemes scale, turning tape study into on-field traps. Vikings News projects top 5 finish if healthy. I'm betting higher. It's not hype. It's horizon. Sustained success as our new normal. Risks real, though injury bugs bit 24 hard, and schedule spikes with divisional dogs. But depth's deeper. Turner flashing, pace patrolling, youth insurance. Metrics whisper longevity. Passer rating against at 82.4, second league-wide. Fourth down stops at 37%. We've weathered rebuild storms. This is clear skies. Purple Posse, what's the sustainability X factor? Health? Scheme? Your call in comments. Guide the narrative. Bottom line, yes, we sustain. Because this ain't luck, it's legacy loading. From 2-minute terrors to interior infernos, we're built for the brink. Hold that hype as we close out. The Skull train's full steam. What's your gut on our D's final rank? Top 3? Spill. Wrapping this Vikings news extravaganza. My purple-hearted horde. What a ride! From O'Connell's 37-19 wizardry to a 2-minute defense that's pure lockdown poetry, and a pass rush roaring with Allen and Hargrave's interior thunder, we're not just winning, we're owning the narrative. 5 games in 0 late points allowed, elite EPA rankings. This is the dawn of something ferocious, sustainable, and straight-up skull-worthy. We've turned scars into stars, proving doubters wrong one pressure at a time. Fans, you've been the heartbeat here, your takes, your passion fuels it all. But hey, don't ghost me now. If this fired you up, smash that like button harder than Hargrave on a guard. Drop your hottest opinion in the comments. What's next for this D, playoffs or bust? Subscribe for daily Vikings news drops so you never miss the Purple Pulse. And share this with your fellow Skull mates. Spread the fever. Until next time, keep the faith, horns up, and remember, we're Vikings, we rise. Skull Vikings.